Radio's got a schedule.
All right, MMA Maniacs, here we go. Another installment of Split Decision, your weekly MMA podcast, brought to you from the Rudloff Family Inc. studios. It is Bueller and Dodge on the mics, ready to break down some MMA news for you, break down some UFC cards, some MMA cards as well. I know we had some stuff happen last week, like
Fight Pass.
Shamrock versus...
Yeah, we had Bellator, we had a Fight Pass, we had Ultimate
all kinds
Fighter.
of stuff. Yeah, and then we have Ultimate Fighter this week.
Is that the fight called Jurassic World? Is that
Jurassic World
Yeah,
Part 2.
And then we also have a fight coming up this weekend with the UFC as well. Is that on Fight Pass or is that an actual...
Fox Sports 1 and 2.
Fox Sports 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So if you have Fox Sports 2, lucky you, because nobody else does. Of course, we are brought to you by StrongBoardBalance.com. Make sure you check out their balance board. It's too confusing for me, but if you're looking to get your core in shape, this is a really cool thing to do. It works on your balance, it works out your core, it works out your legs, pretty much works out everything. A lot of fighters use it. Again, StrongBoardBalance.com. What's their slogan again?
Get on board.
Get on board.
Get on board.
Check it out. They have a whole MMA class and section that teaches you how to do MMA exercises specifically for MMA on the board.
On the board?
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's not like the thing that you have.
No.
That has the Donkey Kong barrel underneath it and you balance on it.
Throw through the wall and kill people. Yeah.
Yeah. Dodge has one that's a Donkey Kong barrel underneath a surfboard. And you balance on that. But this is strongboardbalance.com. Check it out. It's great for exercise. And, of course, you can get us on Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iTunes, and our website, splitdecisionmma.com. Throw us a like on Facebook. That's Split Decision MMA Podcast. And, of course, Instagram and Twitter, SD_MMA. Now let's go ahead and break it down, kicking it off with Anderson Silva.
Anderson Silva, obviously, the PED test results have been inconsistent. You're going back and forth about when his trial date is, trying to figure out what happened when he tested positive for anabolic steroids. Come to find out, his sample B has been shown to have negative results.
Really?
They have an actual picture of the diagnostic page right here. Anabolic agents and masking agents completely negative. This is throwing a monkey wrench into the whole system where they were saying that he tested positive for...
Well, this makes it very confusing because now it's like the tests are not reliable because this isn't the first time it's happened.
No, not only that, but what about Nick Diaz, who both his B and his C samples came out negative on marijuana metabolites, yet his A sample was positive.
Yeah, so obviously there's a big flaw in the system.
Big flaw for UFC 183. Again, this is all going to have to be put forward.
They better get this shit dialed in before July 1st.
Yeah, I mean,
because they're going to drop the hammer and then...
4 days?
Yeah, they're going to drop the hammer
Right.
and then not have anything to back it.
You got 4 fucking
So
days.
what is it going to be like? They're going to drop the hammer, but in 6 months. Once we get all this shit sorted out in 6 months.
Unless you're in California right now.
Oh, shit.
California, Alexander Schlemenko, we talked about him getting suspended for his PED test at the Bellator event that he was in. He has now been suspended for 3 years and fined $10,000. His win has been overturned.
Really?
Yeah.
That's,
His his anabolic levels were 50
That's
to
insane.
1. An allowance is 4 to 1. His were 50 to 1.
Where can I get that?
I bet you got the horny goat weed at the 7-Eleven.
That's what it
Some
was.
Spanish flies?
It's a Spanish fly.
So his win over Melvin Manhoef from Bellator 133 has been overturned. Again, he is now a no contest. He is not able to return until February 13th, 2018.
But it doesn't take back the ass whooping. He
So
beat
that's-
the
so
shit
that's
out
it.
of him.
So he's
On
done.
steroids.
I don't care. Manhoff got manhandled.
He did.
On weed?
On weed.
You ever look at the back of a dollar
Horny
bill on
goat
weed?
weed.
On horny goat weed.
Who's in the bush? I don't know. Do you see anybody? Red team, go! Red team, go!
Speaking of Bellator, this is pretty exciting. Bellator MMA is going to be having what they call their Dynamite event September 19th from the SAP Center in San Jose. That's the Shark Tank. Bellator 141 Dynamite is going to be really interesting. We're going to have Glory kickboxing event, 3 of them. So there's going to be an actual ring in the arena as well as a cage. In the cage, we're going to have Tito Ortiz fighting against undefeated light heavyweight champion Liam McGreary for the belt. And
What does Tito Ortiz to earn a belt?
he's fought twice at Bellator and won.
Oh.
So that gives him a black belt, right?
Yeah, he's got his black belt now.
Did he attempt a submission?
And there's
I mean,
also,
Conor McGregor fought 4 times, and he's got a title shot.
this is going to be interesting. A 1-night, 3-fight, 4-man tournament featuring Phil Davis, King Mo, Emmanuel Newton, and Linton Vassell.
All right.
And this just in from Mr. Eric Cowell of our other home at My MMA News. We might be there.
There we go.
All right.
We'll be reporting
We may be there.
live,
That's
hopefully.
right. My MMA News at .com?
.com.
.com. All right.
Ronda Rousey and Donald Cerrone were nominated for the ESPY Award this year.
Oh, man, I thought you were going to say got caught in a car or something. I was like, that's going to be one badass kid.
She was nominated for Best Play, Best Fighter, and Best Female Athlete.
I didn't know she was going to play.
Yeah. And then Donald Cerrone was nominated also for Best Fighter. Including that category are boxers Terrence Crawford, Gennady Golovkin, and Floyd Money Mayweather Jr.
So she's in the best fighter with all these guys too?
Yes.
Okay. She's probably going to win unless Money wins again.
I don't think he will.
No?
After his last fight and everyone being pissed off.
Yeah.
He should win like best hide and seek.
Yeah, he's hide and seek champion.
Yeah,
I thought he was the best champion of tag.
Yeah, more so.
Tag you're
than
it.
hide
Nope,
and seek.
nope.
Although
Tag you're it. Nope. Tag you're it. Nope.
Although I'd pay good money to see him play tag with Bigfoot. Or not tag, but hide and seek.
Hide and seek. Bigfoot's world champion.
He's
man.
world champ.
World champ.
But I think that Money has a good chance at beating him.
We also have some bout announcements. We have Paige Van Zandt is going to be going up against Alex Chambers at UFC 191.
Good times.
Going down in Vegas in September. You excited for that fight?
It should be a really good
Or
fight.
just excited to see Van Zandt back in the cage?
I'm excited to see Van Zandt back in the cage. I think that Alex Chambers is probably a really good opponent for her.
Okay.
I'm glad that Alex Chambers decided to become a fighter instead of a porn star, which her name would suggest. So, good for her.
John Dodson is getting his title shot. Going to be going up against Demetrius Johnson for the flyweight title. This should be happening also at UFC 191. It's not 100% confirmed, even though they are going to fight. The event is not confirmed yet. In which event?
Well, I like this fight.
I do too. I think this is a great rematch.
It's gonna be...
He's on a 3-fight win streak. I think he deserves it. He was the guy that came closest to taking Demetrius Johnson's title, I think.
Yeah, they just don't know if they...
Yeah, that was my
They just don't know if they want to do it on 191 because it's already bursting at the seams with, I think, 13 fights.
Yeah, there was a lot of things that happened with this card that we're going to talk about going on later this tomorrow. They had to lose a lot of fights due to visa issues, so everything's getting shifted around.
This is crazy because, like, our state right now, we're down something like 11,000 migrant workers for our farms because of this visa issue.
No, that was because of the drought.
No. It's that. Yeah, a lot of them have been told to go back home because before they were sitting at the border trying to come across to work, and they're spending money to stay at hotels and. That's funny. They can't send people this way, and we can't send people that way.
I'm sure we can just drop them back off. Carla Esparza is out for 6 to 8 months to undergo surgery after her loss to Joanna Jędrzejczyk. She has a shoulder injury and surgery she's going to be having to have before she can come back and possibly work her way back to another title fight.
Yeah, well, 6 to 8 months.
6 to 8 months is quite a long time.
That could put her out for a year for a fight.
Well, and today was confirmed that no surgery.
No surgery.
Right.
No surgery, but still 6 to 8 months?
6 to 8 months rehab.
Yeah.
Okay, well, with no surgery, she could be back in 6 to 8 months. But if it was surgery in 6 to 8 months, we're looking at a year.
Right.
Yeah. Speaking of injuries, it was reported this week that Jose Aldo has a rib injury. People freaked the fuck out thinking he was pulling out of the fight. Multiple fights came up to replace in just in case. We had Frankie Edgar waiting by his phone, tweeting pictures of himself. Chad Mendez waiting by the phone, saying that he was ready. And Nate Diaz calling out Conor McGregor, saying he would fight him at 155 for big money. And, of course, from what I was reading, a lot of people actually really liked the Nate Diaz option because it doesn't muddle the title situation. Even if Conor were to lose, he's still in it for technically a title shot because it's at a different weight class.
155, right.
And that would be a Styles fight and a fight that would make money. So, however, Chad Mendez is the one who is waiting patiently. They have said that he is the contingency plan should Aldo have to be
Do you know how many
removed.
people, if this was to happen, you know how many people would be pissed off right now? Because when Conor McGregor fought in Boston, what was it, 13% of the game was from Ireland?
Yep.
Like they flew. So in
McGregor's still going to fight.
Right. But in Vegas, how many people are actually coming up from Brazil and from Ireland to see this fight?
Yeah.
If they don't get this visa thing worked out, nobody.
That was in Florida. They're having issues in Florida.
No, it's all the way. It's all the way across.
Coast to coast.
We literally have people. We can't get workers to Texas, California. It's a computer problem.
Computer problem.
Yeah, but that's not a visa thing. That's
Did
just
they try
that's a
turning it off and
passport
back
thing.
on again?
All right, I'm gonna look it up while you talk.
It's a passport thing.
Did they try turning it off and back on again?
Seriously, yeah. Unplug it and plug it back in.
I mean, that's usually how it fixes it, everything.
Just do the reset.
So They said that he still has every intention to face Conor McGregor at UFC 189, which is coming up July 11th. That it's just a bone bruise. It's not actually broken. And he's still going forward. So we'll see what happens.
Those are a bitch, though. Bruce
a lot of
fans.
people were talking about, okay, so if he lost, would you rather him not said anything?
No.
And then if he lost, bring it up as an excuse?
It's already an excuse.
Or now does he work through it and he loses?
It's already an excuse.
Okay, and if he wins?
That he did it despite having a bruised rib.
Okay, here it is. The United States is unable to issue visas to travelers around the world for 2 weeks because of a computer hardware failure that remains to be unresolved, State Department officials said Monday.
But don't you just need a passport?
I don't
You need a visa if you're going
They're
to work
looking for
here,
their
right?
Windows 3.1 disc. They got disc 6 through 7, but 7.
Yeah, somebody went to Windows 10 too early.
Damn it.
One of the AOL discs.
Another problem with the government going on right now is that MMA has now failed in New York again.
Shocking.
They just tabled it. It's not that it really failed, right?
It's pretty much failed. It passed through the Senate. When it went to the Assembly, they did not have enough supporters show up the day of to sign the bill to get it passed through. They're currently waiting for everyone to get through it. And the last I read, that was yesterday.
Am I reading that 5 times it's passed the Senate, but it keeps getting blocked?
Yes, it has still gotten blocked.
So stupid.
Hey, but...
I like this. Thomas Gervais said, New Yorkers, these are the people that are representing us. The ones who got Chicken Wing Day passed, but apparently don't have time for MMA in New York.
Chicken Wing Day. That's a thing?
That's a thing in New York, apparently.
I like that.
And this is the same state that passed the extra tax on soda, right?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bloomberg. Big time.
That was just the city, right?
Is
The
it?
city of New York.
Okay.
So UFC 189 is coming up. That's the one we were talking about. We've got a little bit of shifting going on here. John Hathaway is injured and unable to fight Gunnar Nelson, so he has been pulled from that fight. Now Gunnar Nelson will fight Brandon Thatch. Thatch was supposed to fight John Howard. Now John Howard's going to fight Catherine Pendred.
Okay.
So we do have some shifting of some fights there.
They can't lose Jose.
Can't use Jose.
They'll screw this whole card.
This whole card just goes down the hole.
It really does, man.
Hayabusa has decided to back some new fighters, making a deal very much like Reebok.
Oh, really?
They're going to back the entire Glory Kickboxing roster. They are going to be the number one sponsor for Glory Kickboxing.
That's great.
They're very excited. They're saying some of the things that they're excited about is because they have backed fighters in the UFC in the past. However, they weren't able to show their full line because fighters are only wearing shorts or shirts or whatever. However, they obviously make gloves. They make headgear. They
Motorcycles.
yeah, sort of. So now they're going to be supporting all of Hayabusa, which is pretty cool.
Well, yeah, and they'll be able to get their brand out to a very niche market.
Yeah, they're kickboxing oriented to begin with, so it's very cool to see them reach out and do the same thing, similar to Reebok, and it's kind of changing the way sponsors are having to go to approach MMA.
Well, that's the thing too. It's like, yeah, we're here during the transition, and sure, it sucks for a lot of guys going through the transition, but once the standard's set, it won't be that big of a deal.
It's very true. Joanna Jędrzejczyk has now signed with Reebok. She's now a new Team Reebok person. They chose her. And also, she is having to have surgery on her hand. She broke her thumb while fighting Jessica Penne, which we'll get into here in a quick moment. She needs 2 months to recover. So, yeah.
I broke my thumb once.
Yeah? How was it?
Sucked, man. I still have the scar. You can see it right here. I got like 17 stitches, and I had like a wire and 2 screws in there and 2 pins. And I did it breakdancing.
Is that the story you're going with?
I was doing Russian kicks.
Is that the story you're going with?
I seriously was. I was doing Russian kicks, and I came straight down on my thumb, and I heard a pop.
Were you in a competition?
I was not. I was just.
You guys were the linoleum crew, right?
Yeah.
Not cardboard. You guys had linoleum
crew. I was just really bad at breakdancing, and
was that the nail in the coffin? Did you stop after that?
It's supposed to look like a fit or a convulsion.
Yeah, that was the end of my breakdancing career. And
are we calling it a career? Are we calling it a career?
And my mom was such a dick that, like, when I told her I broke my thumb, she refused to believe me for 2 weeks. So I had to go to school and hold my pencil like some kind of animal, like a velociraptor, and try to write my homework, and I couldn't. And so after 2 weeks, she finally took me to the doctor because my thumb was like the size of a softball. and they did X-rays. And
Did it look like a pontoon's hand?
It looked like a pontoon's hand, and it was actually broken in like 3 different places, and there was a piece of bone floating in there, so they had to do surgery on it.
Nice.
Yeah, and then.
So was it 2 months recovery?
It was.
Why does this sound like a 5-year-old tale?
Right.
And then
Was it 2 months recovery?
It was 2 months recovery.
That's
and,
it?
Yeah, it was 2 months recovery, and then when I went to the doctor to get everything taken out, they took out the stitches and they pulled out the metal wire.
Were you
and
a world champion?
No, I was not.
Then it doesn't count.
And then when they went to go pull.
Nobody cares. Talk about joining the Jets here.
When they went to go pull my pins out, though, like they tried to pull them out and they didn't have the right tools, so the doctor went out to his truck and got a pair of vice grips. And he pulled the pins out with that.
And then he touched your sack?
And then he touched me gently, and then my mom passed out in the other room from all the blood.
All right.
That was the story.
Another world champion is an actual world champion is injured here. Daniel Cormier has an anterior.
that story brought to you by Tom Daniels Psychiatric Center.
Ligaments, and is going to need biological injections, including stem cell surgery.
What, man? I'm trying to give our listeners a little insight into my personal life.
We just lost listeners.
I just lost 3 minutes. That's what I lost.
Trying to give the show a little character. Fuck you guys. What are we talking about?
We have Joanna Jacek having surgery on her hand due to a broken thumb, similar to your breakdancing career. As well as Daniel Cormier now going to have stem cell surgery to repair his ACL.
Is that a thing now? We can just have stem cell surgery?
If you go to Canada.
Oh, all right.
What's that all about?
Yeah, eh? And then we can go on to...
Why aren't we doing that here, stem cell stuff?
Oh, there's
Moral
there's a lot of
reasons.
stuff we don't do here.
Because we have so many morals here.
Yeah. UFC Fight Night 69 happened over last weekend. This was all on Fight Pass, where you got to see Joanna Jacek completely destroy Jessica Penne.
Yeah.
Smashed her face in multiple
Yeah.
times.
And that's not an
With
exaggerating.
punches.
That's not
with
exaggerating
knees,
at any point.
With kicks. Stopped her in the third round, 4-minute 22. Retains her belt. Obviously going to have surgery on her hand. Be out for 2 months. Not be able to break dance. Tatsuhi Kawajiri defeated Dennis Siver
I
unanimous
could do a
decision.
gyro, too.
Yeah, I'm sure
on
you
a
can.
trampoline.
I love to eat gyros. Those are good.
You want to go with the rest of the Fight Pass there, or are we just going to move past and go to Bellator?
No. Not even a little bit.
Having a little bit. Peter Sobroda
I mean,
over Steve Kennedy and Nick
Tatsuya
Hine.
Kawajiri over
Yeah.
Dennis Siver by
I
decision.
said that.
Yeah. Did you?
Yep. Those are the only 2 fights I actually got a chance to watch, unfortunately. I'm hoping to catch it back on Fight Pass later.
Yeah, the prelim card, the bantamweight fight,
Some good kicks.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like good punches. Good lot of knockout TKOs on that undercard.
Dr. Stoppage
yeah.
from Magomed Mustafiev.
Over Peter Hallman.
Oh yeah, that's right. And the ninja choke, Arnold Allen, that was pretty badass.
Yeah.
It's a ninja choke.
It's
Like you didn't see it coming?
Pretty much.
it's off. I don't know.
Like an extra pair of hands came out.
He threw a smoke bomb first. Now I got to look up
They
a
should
fucking.
allow smoke bombs.
It's like in the
I
front,
think-
but off to the center.
Like
I think every guy should be issued a smoke bomb.
Kill it.
Nope.
Kill it. Kill it.
There's a whole bunch of nope.
A spider just dropped into the studio, and Dodge is scared of spiders.
Now it's underneath the table.
And now it's under the
I
table.
don't know what kind of spider this is.
it's nothing. It's a fucking house.
It's a
spider.
brown recluse.
Oh man,
Brown
God! Right in the middle. So Joey, you're gonna kill the spider. Joey is.
It's right there.
He's like a goanna hunter. He's going after the spider.
Don't hurt your thumb.
Don't hurt your thumb, Joey.
Where?
You went too far. Say go on the spider.
Oh my God, we've Joey's under the desk.
Are you even?
Oh, did he get the spider?
No, you just made it angry.
Oh, it pissed it off. Now we've lost it. We've lost the spider in the studio. Joey's under the desk. Hey, I don't know what you're doing. If you can come over here, though, that would be fun. I would have a good time with that.
Not the spider, but keep going.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna talk while Joey tries to kill the spider.
Yeah, it's just bang
The
things.
recluse is
This
loose.
is crazy. This is pandemonium in the studio right now. It was a pretty good sized spider. It must have come out of the AC vent, and now he's gone.
No, now he's on Joey's phone.
No, he's on Joey's phone.
Joey's
Joey's
trying to mash him into your carpet. And
Okay.
using a crude device as a phone to do so. It's not
yeah.
working
If you're
out very well.
if you're in your vehicle, you're listening at this point. Just this is a good time to check your makeup.
I won.
Maybe
I won.
look at your facial hair. You know,
Joey versus Spider.
Joey
You know
beat the Spider.
You know what that fight reminded me of?
What?
This Kimbo Slice Cameron Shamrock fight we're about to talk about.
I won. I saved Dodge. I saved Dodge's life. Was a red-bodied house spider.
For any of you playing along at home, that was a red-bodied house spider. You can black that out in your bingo card.
We'll handle it in post.
Oh no, we're leaving that whole thing. This is what happens when it's 106 in California.
Yeah.
We lose our shit.
We should have narrated it like, and then Joey approaches.
Oh, it's a big one. It's a big one.
I was angry. See what happens if I poke it with a stick.
So anyway, we're back to this fake fight that happened.
It's not fake. Bellator MMA kicked off on Spike and set records, by the way, for Spike.
For Spike, yeah.
For
2.1
Spike.
or 2.3?
They had 2.1 million viewers.
I just want to put it in perspective. When Screech fought Danny Bottaducci, that was 15.5 million that night.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
No fucking way.
Oh, yeah, look it up.
Wow.
15.5 million?
Yeah.
Well, he should do okay in prison then.
Bonaducci or Screech?
4 months.
4 months.
That's it.
Bonaducci or Screech?
Stabbing
Screech.
somebody,
Screech.
Stabbed someone 4 months. That's it.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Was he trying to make another porn?
Hey, there was that chick in Florida that stabbed her husband in the stomach and got released on her own recognizance. Pussy pass.
That's Florida.
Dude. That's a
It's
pussy
Florida.
pass right there.
He was coming right for her.
It's coming right for us.
Or honor. One of the two. I don't know.
So Kimbo Slice did defeat Ken Shamrock with a knockouts. Round 1, 2 minutes 22 seconds. This looked like two old guys fighting.
It was two old guys fighting.
But everyone's like, "Oh, was it fake? Was it fake?" No, it looked like two old guys fighting who were past their prime. Who should have been fighting anyway.
You could see this fight at any Little League game anywhere across the
Yes,
country.
Exactly.
Ken Shamrock held onto a choke for probably the first minute 22. And
I
he
can't
just-
believe he's trying to tell people, I thought he tapped.
No,
You never let. I don't.
He never got his hands together.
But
because,
still,
number
you
one,
do not
Kimbo's
let go
got a-
until a ref tells you.
Kimbo's got a
And
big
I'm
ass
sorry,
neck.
but if anybody knows that rule, it is fucking Ken Shamrock.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened with him and Hoist Gracie.
Right.
Yep.
If anybody knows that rule, it's Ken Shamrock.
Ken Shamrock couldn't get his big hands around Kimbo Slice's fat neck. Number one, could never clasp them together. He looked tired, and then he got knocked the fuck out because Kimbo could still throw punches.
Well, yeah, he's gonna have one.
Still gonna have power.
He's gonna have one punch knockout power probably till he's 85.
I felt so bad, that scared look on his face, when like the ref had to step in. He's like, no, not another one.
A lot of people were calling this fight fake. A lot of people said there was a fix. I don't think so. I honestly feel like it was just two old guys who were past their prime and shouldn't have been fighting.
What I feel sorry for is Lashley, Strauss, and Chandler.
Yeah.
Who came out, whooped ass.
Hey, they still got 1.6 million viewers on that main card, sir. They didn't get the 2.1 that Kimbo and Ken got, but they got 1.6.
Ridiculous.
Who paid attention for that fight. Michael Chandler, defeating Derek Campos, Daniel Strauss over Henry Corrales, and Bobby Lashley over Dan Charles.
Bobby
And then
Lashley.
Patricio Pitbull Freire survived a quick scare in that first round.
Oh, yeah.
He was out on his feet going back to this corner against Daniel Winchell. We almost had a new champion, and then he just came out and caught him with a clean left hand that put Winchell down. Pitbull keeping his belt 32 seconds of the second round.
I actually felt like it was a bad thing that they were going to let him go back out. And then when he wins, I'm like, wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, this was pretty close to being called in that first round.
He didn't know where he was at on the chair.
Even the announcers were like, "Is it the end of the fight or the end of the round?"
Yeah.
And Daniel Winchell said the same thing. He looked at his and he's like, "Is the fight over or is just the round over?" And it was just the round. Pitbull coming out and knocking him out though.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Because Big Johnny, right? You had to tell him, go to your corner.
Go to your corner.
He says, we're still fighting?
I thought it was over.
It was crazy.
So good for Bellator MMA. We got another fight coming up in Bellator. I believe next week we'll get into that. It might be this week.
Today. They had weigh-ins last night.
That's right. Congo is fighting, correct? Yeah. We'll get to
What?
that.
Chet Congo's fighting?
He's fighting.
Yeah.
The original Black Zillion?
I don't think that's his name. Just throwing that out there, Joey.
Can it be?
I don't think so.
Cannabis?
Cannabis?
Calibus?
All right.
Chet Congo fighting Alexander Volkov. Daniel Rickles against John Alessio. Joe Schilling against Hatsikato.
He's out of Sacktown, right, Joe?
Joe is, yep. And Pat Coran going against Emmanuel Sanchez. That's going down on Spike 2 nights.
Chet Congo's always fun to watch.
Chet Congo is always fun to watch.
He sucks it.
Yeah.
I mean, his ground game sucks, but he's
Yeah,
just
Joe Rogan said he looks like he's chiseled out of wood.
chiseled on a wood.
Yeah, and you know Schilling's going to punch this guy at least 60, 70 times.
At least.
At least.
Multiple 60 or 70 times. Bunches.
Yep. That's what he does.
And then we had The Ultimate Fighter. Did you get a chance to watch?
Yes, of course.
ATT keeping it alive.
I got.
They had to win. We talked about this. They had 3 fights. They have to win, otherwise they're going to lose. And they won one of them. They got this one.
I got to ask.
Uh-huh.
How much do you think this was done in post, though? Like,
What do you mean done in post?
They had to win 1 out of 3 fights, and they happened to win the first 1 out of 3. Like, you don't think that maybe they won the middle one or the last one?
You don't think
they just re-edited it to make it look
I don't know, because they
said.
said we got to win these next 3. We got to win these next 3.
Yeah, but that could have been re-edited, recut.
All right.
I'm not buying it. Something about it didn't feel right. It felt fishy.
How do you feel about the 2 guys making weight? That was the big controversy that everyone was pissed off about. I think it's strategy. Good for them.
Yeah, I mean, Dana White and the owner of ATT was like, what is this guy thinking? He knows what we have to do.
Yeah. Only one guy's going to sign papers. I can have 2 guys make weight, but only one guy's going to sign the
And it
papers.
has to be turned in that morning.
And it's going to be turned in that morning. You know who's going to be fighting. I may have 2 guys make weight, but he's still going to be the one fighting.
Right. So what?
Just psychological edge. Good for them.
What Glenn from Black Zillion said was like, oh, if we would have picked this guy, then he would have pushed the other guy out and then just made up an excuse. Is that even a possibility?
No.
Like, could he fake an injury right before weigh-ins?
Not make weight. What's he going to do? Just put on, keep the sweater on? You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and they'd be like,
no.
oh, I can't make weight. Do you need to re-weigh in? No, I don't want to re-weigh in. We got another guy that's ready, though.
No, that's what I mean is like they're like if they filled out paperwork that morning for Bob and they go to push and they're supposed to push Bob forward and then they realize, oh, Glenn threw out this guy, oh, let's throw out Tim.
Yeah.
And they go, well, you signed papers for Bob, like, oh yeah, but Bob rolled his ankle 3 hours ago, so he can't fight.
I don't know.
Is it possible to do that?
I don't know. I mean, I guess crazier things have happened. I mean, we saw Seth Berchizelli take over for Kimbo Slice the first time, or take over for Ken Shamrock the first time on that card. Fill in for him because Ken Shamrock got a cut in his head and fought Kimbo and then ended up defeating him. So, I mean, but he was already scheduled to fight. I don't think.
And how did Tisha come back? Did she come back on some technicality too? Somebody got hurt?
Someone got hurt, but she's still allowed to fight. They have to still fill out paperwork for that day. It's not like you can go, okay, Tim, I need you now to go sign paperwork for tonight. I don't think it's going to work. They have to push the fight forward.
That's what I'm wondering.
They have to push it another day.
Okay, so if somebody was to legitimately get hurt, then they would have to push it back another day.
Unless they signed paperwork for both guys. Like, again.
But you wouldn't do that if you didn't think that you were going to have somebody.
Right, this is what I'm saying, though, is, okay, go back to what I was saying before with the Ken Shamrock that was supposed to fight Kimbo Slice. Seth Petrozelli was on that card, already signed paperwork to fight.
Understand that.
So if they had both paperwork signed and ready, yeah, they could have been like, nope, it's not this guy, it's this guy. We got both paperwork.
Which obviously they didn't.
But they didn't. They only had one paperwork. I don't think that they could have pushed him out and said, now we want to sign papers.
Well, I understand that, but Glenn's hypothetical situation here.
I don't think it's possible.
You don't think it's possible?
No.
So if somebody would have legitimately, like the guy who was set to fight, would have legitimately got hurt that day.
And let's see. Like if he steps off the scale and fucking eats it and hits his head, they're going to push the fight the next day. That's what's going to happen. Not to him, but to somebody else. They're going to be like, okay, you have 1 day to make weight. We'll sign your paperwork for your next fighter. But it can't be like, which one of you gym wants to go today? Yeah. Anybody ready to go?
Okay.
You know what I mean? I just don't think it's possible.
So Glenn's hypothetical situation is
I think he's just
extremely far-fetched.
I think he's just freaking out. Okay. And it's the psychological warfare. I give it to AT&T. That was the first smart move they've made.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, other than putting in the one guy that has been winning for them,
their guy really came back and looked like a completely different fighter in this fight too.
Looked like and he did well.
And the way this one's set up, I guess that's what you have to result to.
I really thought going into that second round that Baby Monster was going to come back.
Yeah.
I mean, he came out and he listened to his coach, said not to do jiu-jitsu off his back, to start throwing strikes, hit him with that switch kick, went from a knee to a switch kick and just caught Nathan in the face. And it looked like he was going for that guillotine over and over and over and over. I thought at one point he would get it, but Nathan was able to survive, man, and take the unanimous decision. I don't know. I think it should have went to a third round.
I felt like it could have gone to a third round.
I thought it should have gone to a third round. 2 rounds is a little close for me, especially because of how much control Baby Monster had the majority of the round. Nathan was able to get out and control at the end. I don't know.
Even though my Black Zillion shirt is still on the way.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to a third round, absolutely, but I wasn't super disappointed that it was called a decision in the second. So I was like, okay, I can still see Nathan Coy winning this. I would have loved to have seen the third round.
Yeah, I think the third round was definitely warranted.
I don't disagree with the decision either.
So now you got now it's 300 to 200. There's still 2 100-point fights remaining. Home gym advantage now goes to AT&T.
Still Black Zillions all the way.
Still Black Zillions all the way.
Yep.
Still going that route. All right. Going down on Fox Sports 1 and Fox Sports 2. Prelims on Fox Sports 2. Main card on Fox Sports 1. Tomorrow,
Tomorrow.
We have UFC Fight Night, what is this, 70?
Sure.
UFC Fight Night 70 coming from Hollywood, Florida. This is the big event that we're having issues with visas. A bunch of fighters from Brazil were supposed to come up for this bout due to... this was actually supposed to be the Ultimate Fighter Brazil 4's finale. That's now being pushed back to Brazil, and they will be added to the UFC 190 card. Rick Story and Eric Silva were supposed to be the co-main event, or excuse me, the main event that got changed around because
maybe
Eric
that's
Silva
the difference
can't
though
make
too
it.
with the visa issue is because they're coming up here to work, so they can't get a work visa. But if you're just coming to watch, wouldn't you only just need
get a passport, right?
That's what I'm curious about.
I just read it to you guys.
Yeah,
It doesn't
it's
matter.
visas.
It's travel at all. Work, vacation.
Then how was my buddy able to get his passport to go to Mexico?
He probably had it done already.
but you don't need a visa to go to Mexico.
It's
You
just
need a
2 weeks.
passport.
It's 2 weeks, people.
I don't believe you.
I don't believe you.
I just showed you.
Yeah, but you got it off the internet. Is that really where we're getting all our information these days?
Was it a Facebook link?
No, it was not. It was actually a .gov link.
Right.
Clickbait.gov?
Yeah.
.click.
Bonjour.
Do you want to reel off the prelims there?
Yeah, let's go. Danny Martinez going up against Cerrone Kikai. Mountaintop.
Crazy loose.
Danny Martinez is the clickable one out of the two, so he gets my votes. Steve Montgomery going up against Tony Sims.
They're not clickable.
They're not.
I don't care. I love Tony's video game.
I like Tony. Yeah, I like Tony Sims there.
All right.
Then Leandro Silva is going up against Luis Gonzalez, and Alex Oliveira going up against Joe Merritt. I'm surprised. This is I'm being serious here. I'm surprised Alex Oliveira is not a clickable link.
You know what I'm surprised? That I'm not going to be able to see any of these fights because it's on Fox Sports too. Put them on Fight Pass.
Damn, Fox
I'd be able to
Sports,
see it better.
Hey, maybe. What do you think? What was the Periscope? I'll Periscope it
Yeah,
to
just
you.
Periscope it to me.
And this might as well be fucking UHF channels.
I could get those.
For us younger listeners, the UHF is a channel that you used to be able to click to on your black and white TV.
And VHF.
When you clicked over the extra knob.
Click.
Is there-
Oh, they don't even know knobs.
It was the switch.
They don't even know
It was
knobs.
a switch and then the knob.
Yeah.
And then the switch the other direction.
No fucking remote control. You had to turn a knob.
Yeah.
I was hella fancy. My parents bought a Zenith that had 13 buttons on it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
buttons.
And
Oh,
it was
yeah.
pretty sick.
Were you designated button clicker?
I was designated.
Because we designated my brother. He was the youngest. You sit next to the fucking TV when I want to change the channel. I don't like this, change it.
Josh's radio, and when I was a kid, my name was Remote.
Yeah, because my kid, he's like, dude, what? She goes, why do they always say don't touch that dial? I was like, oh my God, she doesn't even know what a dial is.
No.
All right, your main card has Harkin Diaz going up against Levon Makshvili. What do you got on that one?
Nothing.
Nothing. Harkin Diaz wins.
Tupac used to rap about that cat all the time. Mashkabili.
I know.
Makshvili up in this
Was that Tupac
Illuminati.
with a lisp?
Mashkabili.
No,
I'm wishing that the rider.
it's Tupac meets Sean Connery. Makshvili. Thiago Santos going up against Steve Bosse. Steve Bosse. His name's Thiago. I'm picking him.
You going Thiago Santos
Yeah, pretty
over
much.
Bosse?
I like Bosse.
Bosse. Antonio Carlos Jr. going up against Eddie Gordon.
Uh-huh.
Anything on that? No?
I'll go Junior.
Junior? All right. Santiago Ponzinibbio
Yep.
up against Lorenz Larkin. I'm
Yep.
picking Lorenz Larkin on that one.
Really? I'm going to go with Ponzinibbio because Lorenz Larkin's going to shave that stupid bell into the side of his head again and he's going to lose.
Really? Is that Alan Arkin's son?
No, that's Arkin. This is Larkin.
Larkin
Oh.
and Arkin.
Okay.
Lyoto Machida going up against Yoel Romero.
I think this is a great fight.
This is a great fight. It's kind of hard to pick who I think is going to win here.
I'm going to be taking Yoel Romero in this fight.
Yeah.
I think Machida, as he has gotten slower in his older age, still has heavy punches. He's not as quick as he once was. He's also way more aggressive now than he once was. I think because his speed
he has to be.
Because his speed is slowed down, he's not able to circle out as much as he used to. Yoel Romero's wrestling is legit, and he's got heavy fucking
He was
hands.
touted this week as the greatest fighter out of ATT.
Okay. Sure, I'll give him that. I'm taking Yoel Romero over Lyoto Machida, possibly TKO in the third.
That I could see happening. I don't see Yoel Romero being able to take down Lyoto Machida.
I think he can get a hold of him. A lot of people have lately.
Yeah, but I still think it's going to be a difficult one. I could see a TKO from Yoel Romero in the third, but I'm still going to go with Lyoto Machida by decision.
All right. Dennis?
I'm going with Romero.
Romero?
Yep.
There you go. There you have it.
Those of you who have just started listening to this show, I'm never right. I did a DraftKings thing.
You're not
once,
putting money on this fight.
and I lost 4 out of 5 fights.
You're not
You were
putting money
so
on this
close
fight.
with Verdum. So close.
So close. No, I'm not putting money on this.
Good.
I still have $25 in my DraftKings account that's going to stay there forever. Forever.
Check into that. I bet they start removing 45 cents every one.
Nah, I better start using it, I guess. I'll let you guys pick during football season. Anyway, thanks for listening. Of course, we are called Split Decision. We are the weekly MMA podcast brought to you from the Ruloff Family Inc. studios. Bueller and Dodge breaking down the news and fight cards for you as often as we can. And, of course, thanks to our sponsors, StrongBalanceBoard.com, right?
StrongboardBalance.com.
StrongboardBalance.com. Thank you. It's not written down on the whiteboard.
You want to get that fitness edge? Get on board.
StrongboardBalance.com.
That's StrongboardBalance.com.
And also MyMMAnews.com.
MyMMAnews.com.
Thanks. God, if this was written down somewhere, I wouldn't have to guess.
There's a big whiteboard behind you.
It's behind me.
Yes.
That's perfect.
So
There's
I can read it,
absolutely
there's
nothing on there. Hey, it's mounted.
It's mounted. So tell your friends about us. You know, we're on Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and iTunes. It's split Blogspot,
We're stupid
Thanks,
as
Radio.
hell. We're stupid as hell.
which still hosts porn. They got flagged to take down all their porn, and now Blogspot still hosts porn. Apparently, they won something. I don't know what they won.
I like Joey's like, I'm doing research.
all day.
All day.
Totally research.
Go away, Mom. Doing research for the show. Of course, our website, SplitDecisionMMA.com. On Facebook, Split Decision MMA Podcast. Give us a like, or on Instagram and Twitter, SD_MMA. And from the Ruloff Family Inc. studio, it is Bueller and Dodge and the dead spider on the floor saying, have a good night. We'll see you at the fights.
You whoop that spider's ass.